Hello friends, have you ever thought about how web pages are created? Have you ever wanted to know more about HTML? Then you have landed at the right place. In this video, we will discuss what is HTML, basic HTML tags, and how to create a simple web page. Please note that we will not be discussing CSS or JavaScript in this video, and I will limit myself to HTML. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So HTML is a set of instructions given to a web browser to describe the structure of a web page. HTML documents can be created with any word processor or text editor such as Notepad or Notepad++. In this video, I will make use of Notepad++. So HTML document, we use a lot of tags. So tags are instructions or commands in the form of text characters. So they are surrounded by less than and greater than signs, which are called angular brackets, and they come in pairs. The first is the start tag, and the second tag is the end tag. So let me show it to you. So the first line, exclamation doc type HTML, this tells that the document is a HTML document. Then you have the HTML tag, which tells that everything inside this document is your HTML content. Now, every HTML document has a head and a body tag. So you see, we start with head tag and we end with a slash head tag. So inside the head tag, you have the title, which tells you about the description of the web page. You can have scripting or the styling inside the header. Now, body contains all the information about your web page. How does your web page appears? Everything that you see on the screen for the web page is contained in the body tag. So all these tags will start and end also. As you can see, I close the body tag with slash. I close the HTML tag with slash. Now coming on to all the information one by one. So in HTML, inside the body tag, you can see a lot of headings. So headings can be of different sizes. So H1 is given the highest priority and is the biggest in size, whereas S6 is the smallest one. So let me show it to you. See, this is the biggest one, and this is the S6, which is the smallest one. So the highest priority is given to the biggest heading or the H1 tag. So you can also make use of these different headings in the form of headings and subheadings. Like you can give the biggest heading for H1 and subheadings you can use as H2 or H3. So depending on your work, you can make use of the different headings. The difference will come in with respect to the size. See, H1 is the highest, H2 follows it. Likewise, you come to S6, which is the smallest. Now comes the HR tag. Now, HR gives you a horizontal line. So when you want to separate your content with a horizontal line, you use a HR tag. HR tag is an empty tag, which means it has the starting, but there is no ending. You don't use slash HR. You just give HR. So such type of tags are called empty tag, which just have a starting. So if I show it to you, see, you see a line in between. There is a line in between. This horizontal line is all about HR tag. So it doesn't have any closing. Then you have the paragraph tag. So the P tag or the paragraph tag is used to divide your text into different paragraphs or blocks, similar to what you have in MS Word. So when you want to divide your text into separate paragraphs, you can make use of the P tag. Again, you start with the paragraph tag and you close with slash P tag. Now, if you want to create your text in different formats. Like if you want this computer science word to be in bolds, or if you want this HTML in underline, or if you want this to be in italics, how to do so. So for doing it, whatever content you want, you start with a B tag and with a slash B tag. So it comes in bold. Very easy to remember. B stands for bold. Then if you want certain text in underline, similar to that, you start with a U tag and with a slash U tag. Similarly, if you want your text in italics, you give I tag and end with slash I. So this is how you can give different styles to your text. The boldness, the underline part, or the italics part, you can add on to your text. Now, in line number 17, you see BR. Now, BR is again an empty tag. So when you want to divide, when you want to give your text in separate line, but you don't want to give a space, let me show it to you. See, I have these two lines in different lines, but there is no space in between. Then you need to give BR. So BR will make your text in separate line, but it will not give any space in between. Whereas when you give the paragraph tag, there comes a space in between the two lines. So if you give the BR tag, there is no space in between, only it comes in separate line. So when I give so, you see these two are in different lines. Now, an interesting part to this is, to any HTML document for that matter, is you want to insert some images, want to make it more creative, more colorful. So for that, we'll make use of the image tag. So before doing that, let me show it. You can use two tags together to give a combination. If you want your text in bolds as well as underline, you can make use of B and U together. It comes in bold as well as in underline. Now, if you want to insert some image, the tag you use is img. So with img, you need to use src attribute, which stands for source. So if this image file is located at the same location as your HTML file, you can just give the file name. No need to give the entire address. But if the locations are different, then you need to give the entire address followed by the file name. Then only your image is going to load. So this is what you need to take care. Otherwise, I've seen people putting on only the file name and the image is not loading. So it depends where your image is located. Depending on that, you need to clarify the source. Now, next is ALT attribute, which stands for alternate text. Now, suppose for some reason your file doesn't load up. It's not in the correct location, or the file name is wrong by mistake. Then what should be done? In that case, suppose I'm just changing the file name so that it doesn't load. See, if I save it and show it to you, refresh it. See, now I no more see that star. I just see star written here, which is the part of my ALT. I've written ALT as star. So given the value of star. So ALT stands for alternate text. What should appear in, just in case my image doesn't load? Then what is that which is going to appear? So I use ALT for that. So if my image doesn't load, then whatever I've written in the alternate text or ALT attribute, that will load up. Then your width and height can be given in style. So that will load the width and height for you. Let me remove this and show it to you. See, now my star appears. Now, depending on what you want, if you want to change the width, you can make the changes here and see the width changes. So if you want to change the height, again, you make the change and your height also changes. So depending on the height and width you want, you can make changes to height and width. Now, coming on to tables. Tables is another part which is very important in HTML. Now, by default, the HTML tables don't come with a border. So as you see, the table starts with a table tag. So see, if I remove and show it to you, the default settings, if you just give the table tag, if you don't give the other attributes. So this is how your table is going to appear. No borders. There is absolutely no borders. It is like this by default in HTML. Now, if you want to put certain borders and all, make it more creative, you give some settings to it. So if I've given 5, I see, let me save it and show it to you. So I see certain thickness to the border. Suppose I decrease the value, make it 1. See, this is how it appears. So depending on the thickness I've given here, the value I've given here, the border size will increase or decrease. Now, cell padding is the space between the text and your border. So see, if you want certain space between this text and the border, you need to give the value in the cell padding. So I've given 10, so I see a lot of space. You reduce it, the space will reduce. Now the cell spacing is the space between the cells. I don't want to give any space between the cells, so I've used 0. But in case you give, you will see some space between the cells. So please play around with it when you create this HTML document. Now, every table in HTML will have rows and columns. So TR stands for table rows. Now, the first row generally, even if we make it in some other document, we know that the first row is generally the heading. We give the headings here. So with HTML, if you want to give the headings, you need to use the TH tag, table heading, table header. So it will be bold automatically. When you give TH, it will be bold as compared to the rest of the text. And when you want to close the rows, you need to close the TR tag. So this particular row will end. Now, when I want to create my second row, I again start with TR, end with TR. So this is my second row. So if I want to give certain data to it, I give it in the TD tag, table data. So whatever data I've given, it is displayed here. So depending on how many rows you want, you start with a TR tag, you end with a TR tag, and for the content, you give the TD, table data. And there you feed your content. Close it with the TR for the rows, and for the table, you close it with /table. And I'm closing the paragraph as well, so I close it with p tag, /p tag. Now, again, I've used a combination for unordered list, the text for this. I've used bold and underline. If you see, I've used bold as well as underline for unordered. So I've used a combination of 2 tags. In fact, 3 tags are here. So I've used paragraphs, so you can see a space in between. Had I used BR, there would be no space in between. So that was the difference. See here, there's no space. But here you can see a space in between. So that's the difference. Now, first coming on to unordered list. So unordered list is when you don't want any sequence, but you still want to arrange the data into a particular list pattern, but you don't want any specific sequence to it. In that case, you use UL. UL stands for unordered list. So you start with UL tag. If you don't give any type to it, suppose I don't give any type to it, see, this is the default one. These bullets are the default one which comes if I don't put any type to it. Now, if I want to give any specific type, I use type is equal to circle or type is equal to square. Depending on that, my settings are going to change. See, my settings are going to change. It turns into circle when I give it. So this is unordered list for you. Likewise, if you want to use ordered list, in that case, again, you use the OL tag. Now, again, suppose I remove this type. Okay, I remove the type. See, by default, you will see numbers, orders. Ordering is there in the form of numbers. So if you don't give the type, by default, HTML will display numbers for you. So this is ordered. You are giving a particular sequence to it. Now, if you don't want numbers, you want to give ABCD, for example, then in that case, you give type is equal to A, it will be ABCDE. You give a small a, and it will be small alphabets. You want to give Roman numbers, you give Roman numbers, I give I, and see it turns as the Roman numbers. So this is how ordered list will appear, but ordered list is nothing but a sequence to the data you are giving. So depending on how you want to give that sequence, you want to use numbers, alphabets, Roman numbers, you can give the particular type. Now, another interesting part is if you want to insert a video or an audio file. Very interesting. I would like to do so in a web page. So the command is very, very simple. You use the tag video and src is the source attribute. You give the file name. So in this case, my file is located in the same location as the HTML document. So I've given just the file name. Had it been in different location, you need to give the entire address like I had done for this image part. So in a similar way, you would have to do it with video also. And when you write controls, it gives you the control. See, if you see it here, it has different controls like the play button, the volume, and full screen. So if you want to give the controls, you need to write controls here. Start with a video tag, end with a video tag. Similar is the case with the audio file. So you give an MP3 file in the audio tag, and you give controls to give the different controls to it. You see here, you have the different controls like the volume and all, and you end it with a /audio tag. So in case you want the detailed information about all these tags, I have a lot of videos which gives you specific information about specific tag. So if you want those detailed information, please check the comment box and I will give the entire description of the videos there and you can watch it out for more details. Hope you liked this video. Please try creating a web page and to write your comments in the comment box. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe and support my channel. Thank you.